Good evening, folks, and a very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here on DinamoTV, the official podcast of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club. My name is Tonchi Prusats, and yet again, I am in the host's chair to bring you yet another episode of DinamoTV. Can't believe it. It's already episode 6 this year. Gosh, already the year is flying by. And on tonight's show, well, we're going to hear from the gaffer, the senior men's team head coach, Cameron Watson, after last weekend's, well, disappointing result, but there were some positives to come out of that in what was a very, very windy game against Altona Magic. This week they come up against, our senior men's come up against Heidelberg United. And it's our first home game of the season, but it has been moved to Knight Stadium, or Tomset Stadium as it is now known. And we'll hear all about that very, very shortly as well from our Vice President, JOHN BILOS. He'll be talking a lot about that, the logistics for Sunday's game. He'll also be talking about the Gala Day coming up, or the Gala Celebrations coming up later on in the year, and the direct connection with Dinamo Zagreb that our club is building. And on top of that, our special guest tonight will be speaking with the vice captain of the senior men's team. A very good feature interview with a real homegrown talent, if you like. He started at the Mali Plavi, with the Mali Plavi at the club. And of course, we're talking about JOSEPH COLINA. He'll be coming up that little bit later on. But first up, folks, we're going to have a little bit of a commercial break from our major sponsor, the I&D Group. And after that, it is time for the news desk.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to Dinamo TV, and first up was NPL Men's Victoria Round 2, and we've got some highlights from that. Brent Sternberg was your commentator alongside yours truly, and after that we caught up with Cam Watson post-match.
To go in the western suburbs of Melbourne, under the shadows of the bridge, Altona Magic and St Albans for the 49th time in league play. As I welcome in Tonchi Prusak. Last time they won here, St Albans, Tonchi. It was a 5-1 win on the final match day of season 2022. They'd love to open the account, Dinamo, with a win like that.
Good afternoon, Brent. It is a windy afternoon to say the least. Really interesting round 2 so far. We've had some close games, and then earlier today, Avondale defeated Port Melbourne 4-1, and that's the only game in the first 2 games as we see Dinamo now going back into attack. Gulevski on the edge of the box, and now it's Dragicevic shoots. Once again, whether he slipped or just miscalculated that because of the wind.
And for Dragicevic, it lays it off nicely for Colina. Now here come Dinamo down the left-hand side. This is Monek, fresh off an opening match day brace. He's clipped by Theodorakopoulos. Touch there from Dragicevic to take it away from youngster in midfield for the Magic. Gus. He's lost sight of the football there. When he got his bearings, he goes for a lovely little pass out to Balil Habib, the danger man. Step over into the 18-yard box. Balil Habib in off the upright. And despite the fact that Dinamo have been much the better team in the opening 17-18 minutes, just one little piece of magic from the Magic and Balil Habib, and it's their first home goal of the season, and it's a beauty. 1-0 Altona.
You call it, mate.
It is a goal.
It is a goal in the end. It was Frangie, I believe, who scrambled that ball home from close range. Just wasn't cleared away by the Dinamo defence. And I'm just going to confirm that, but I believe it was Anthony Frangie. Yep. He scored that now in the 36th minute, and Altona Magic have doubled their lead here at Paisley Park.
That lengthy discussion was about, does something happen in amongst all of that fracas that the officials eventually have decided is worthy of a red card? The Altona fans are delighted. Johnny McGlaris is leaving the pitch, and you'd have to say St Albans' hopes of getting a result tonight have also left the pitch. They're down to 10 men.
Yeah, that's going to be it's a good point, that. It's a very, very good point. They'll be very rattled after dominating the first 10 to 15 minutes and looking really, really good. I'll harp on the fact that the loss of Platt is a big one, is a major one. They were looking really, really dangerous with Platt on the park, but as soon as he came off the park, there's Burns now knocks it to Divin, and Divin smashes it, and it's another attempt there by. And they've got a goal back. Summer skill.
Carnage.
Dragicevic shot from the edge of the box. Divin had a shot. Burns had a shot, and in the end, it's Summerskill has knocked the ball into the goal from close range.
I'm sorry, Conchi, I have to say, I'm surprised that Altona are still going for this. I mean, they lead by a goal. I would have thought that they might have tried to set up shop a little bit.
Yeah, no, Eric now with the ball. Sidious tries to get the ball forward as quickly as possible to Divin. And then there it is. All hope that St Albans had of salvaging the game is over as the referee blows the final whistle to bring an end to what has been a...
Okay, we're speaking with Cam Watson straight after the game. Cam, not the best result you wanted, 2-1 in the end. How did you see it from your perspective?
We started off really well. We had a bunch of chances that we didn't take, and then we let them back in the game with a goal, a well taken goal, I think, from their boy, and then I think then we just kind of lost it a little bit, the control of the game that we had, but they got momentum from scoring their goal, and then the second goal was obviously just I think a poor collective effort. And then we just, the stranglehold of the game was in their favour. So
first 10-15 minutes, though, it was very promising. We seemed to do all the attacking. We had that opportunity, Mikael Platt, within the first 60 seconds. But how much of an effect did the wind have out there? I mean,
I don't think any, really.
Yep.
Both teams, obviously, it didn't change for anyone. It stayed the same way. So I actually thought we played quite well against the wind in the second half. As you said, then obviously we had a lot of chances in the first 10-15 minutes, and you have to capitalise on them, or else look what happens. But you know what? It's 3 points that we haven't got, and then there's a lot of football left. So we just need to think about what we've done wrong, fix it, and move on to next week, because that's the only way we move forward. So.
Yeah. Before we talk about next week, Mikael, the hamstring looked like a hamstring at this stage. How serious is it, or we'll just wait for the medicos during the week?
Yeah, not sure at all, to be honest. I think it's not too major. Hopefully it's only a week or two, to be honest. But yeah, he felt a little bit, so obviously I think it was more precaution as well to come off.
Yeah, next week, turning our attention to Heidelberg at Knights Stadium. What a strange kind of a situation that is, with Heidelberg having probably the home ground advantage. They played there last week against the Knights. They lost. We'll be looking to do something similar to them next week. How are you going to approach the game? Will we get an opportunity to train on the field before Sunday's game or anything like that?
I don't know. They play Friday, so I don't think it'll work in terms of that. And logistically, I don't think it'll happen. But look, if we can repeat the result that Knights got against them, that's great in terms of getting the 3 points, because that's what really matters. And we've got a long week. You know, we've got 3 sessions before we play that game, and I think we just need to. There's no issue with the quality and the group. It's about a bit of desperation, a bit of urgency at times, and I think if we can fix those areas, we can probably find ourselves in a little bit of a better situation.
I know it's not the result we wanted, but when we look at the bench that we had on today and the depth, that's something we haven't had in previous years, especially last year. So that's something that really can give Dinamo fans a lot of hope for the season ahead, is the quality of the squad as a whole.
Look, the squad's great. Not going to fault. I would never fault any players for lack of effort, but it was obviously good to see. Manny did well when he came on. Burnsy did well when he came on.
Summers scored a goal.
Yeah, Summers obviously scored a goal, had an impact. So you want that from your players coming off the bench. You want them to make an impact. So look, whether we'll figure out what we need to do against Heidelberg next week and which personnel plays. Obviously, with Johnny getting sent off as well, so we need to make some adjustments. But as I said, we've got 3 sessions. We've got the time to look at it and then figure out what the best plan is for Sunday.
I'm sure it was just a little hiccup, and we wish you all the best for the. Yeah, that was Cameron Watson, the senior men's team coach at Dinamo. If we move on to the 23s, they lost 1-2 with Luka Chabrais scoring the only goal there, while the under-19s won their first game 2-1. Adam Abdullah and Nicholas Lagozzo scoring. And there's the summary of last week's game, a 2-1 loss against Altona Magic in very, very windy, squally conditions. There's confirmation, or I should say full details of this week's game, round 3, hosting Heidelberg United this Sunday. We haven't played a Sunday game in that time slot for a long time. So 5 p.m. this Sunday afternoon at Knights Stadium, or now as it is known as Tomset Stadium. So all roads lead to Summers Street for this Sunday. Let's hope there's a massive crowd on hand to support the boys as they come up against Heidelberg. In the JB NPL, Junior Boys NPL action, it wasn't exactly the most productive trip down to Geelong last Sunday, taking on Geelong Soccer Club. The under-14s lost 2-5, Papic and Lazzara scoring the 2 goals, scoring 1 goal apiece for the 14s. The under-15s lost 0-2. The under-16s won 1-0, courtesy of Noah Sakal scoring a goal. And the under-17s unfortunately lost 5-0. This weekend, the junior boys are hosting Brimbank Stallions on Sunday at Churchill Reserve. The under-14s kick off at 9:30. The under-15s follow them at 11:10. The under-16s are at 1, and then the under-17s kick off at 3 p.m. All the games will be on pitch 3. Junior girls, we are still looking for under-15 and under-16 players, so we are seeking 2010 born and 29 born players for season 2025. Any interested players are urged to fill out the job form on the official St Albans Dinamo Facebook page. And there will be also notice coming out tomorrow with regards to a few more spots available as well in our various community and junior sides as well. The Gala Day, yes, save the date because it's going to be our 50th anniversary this year, Saturday the 12th of July 2025. We're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary. A little bit more about that later on in the show when we do speak with the Vice President of St Albans Dinamo, John Bilos. He'll have a little bit more information about that. And just finishing up the news desk, a little bit of community news in this week's Hrvatski Vjesnik, the Croatian Herald. Be sure to get that because Hrvatska Zora makes an historic return to the Croatian Catholic Centre Sunshine. You would have seen the post on our Facebook page during the week. Congratulations to everyone involved at Hrvatska Zora. Translated, that means Croatian dawn, and certainly the dawn of a brand new era for our local Croatian folkloric dance group. Folks, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we will continue with the Vice President of St Albans Dinamo, John Bilos, and also the Vice Captain of our senior men's team, Joseph Colina. Welcome back to Dinamo TV, and earlier today I caught up with the Vice President of St Albans Dinamo, a man who's very, very busy himself with everything and anything involved at Churchill Reserve, John Bilos. John, first of all, welcome to Dinamo TV. First time we've got you in season 2025. How are you?
I'm always good, Tonchi, and yeah, always good. What about you?
Yeah, same, mate. It's. I can't believe that we're already into episode 6 of Dinamo TV this year. The year's flying by, but we wanted to talk to you about the 50th Gala, and we'll talk about that and the connection with Dinamo Zagreb. But in the meantime, there's so much happening. It's just insane. I don't know where to start, but mate, let's first of all start with Churchill Reserve. A lot's been happening, and a lot is happening off the field there, or should I say on the pitch, actually. We've got some video footage now happening of when there we go, of the ground itself. Now, it looks quite barren, but this is the before photos. How is it all coming along, mate?
Yeah, no, firstly, we have to thank Council for, finally doing this for us. It's been a long time coming. So to everyone at Brimbank Council, a big shout out and a big thank you. That was taken about probably last week, these images. And our famous Dinamo logo there. So turf's gone down, which is fantastic. I saw the sprinklers, going yesterday. So as you can see, the turf's being laid, and that's all done now. And the fencing, the mesh and the fencing was started yesterday.
Yep.
So hopefully that's done this week, and then we can dress the ground up, ready for hopefully either the Melbourne victory game. Or the Green Gully game at home. So I can't wait to be back at home.
Yeah, no, that's going to be awesome. We just really, really, as you say, cannot wait for that to happen. That's going to be awesome. Tell me, oops, I've got a bit of an echo there. I was going to say, look, tell me what about the landscape and all that? Will there be sort of concreting, or will there be just a little bit of grass on the area? Just so it's not all muddy when the winter season happens, or is that something that we'll just have to wait until I guess budget will allow it?
Yeah, no, we're planning to have behind the goals, each set of goals, we're planning to put a footpath there.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, Ilya and Robbie can get that sorted for us.
Yeah.
The back fence from the houses has come in a little bit, so it gives us a bit more room behind that. In between the two fences, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try and dress it up before that game, which will be great.
Fantastic. And that's just one of the many things happening at the moment behind the scenes. Obviously, the start of the season, merchandise is on its way. That's another thing, and you've been working really, really hard with regards to that. Give us a little bit of a tease of what we can expect.
With merchandise, I mean, we're pretty standard with merchandise. So we've got the polos, the hoodies, and we actually are expecting Dane Duganjic to create a 50th anniversary T-shirt for us.
Yeah.
Which he's doing currently. So we hope to release that shortly as well. And then we've got the little things like stubby holders. We've got some bottle openers. The caps are coming soon. Everything's been ordered. If not delivered, it'll certainly be there before our first home game.
Now, the good thing about all that and the first home game is when we were talking about merchandise is we're going to have a new pop-up stand or shop, if you like, at Churchill Reserve just for merchandise, and that is being organised this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, so Friday, Paul Burklicic is going to make one of our offices into a merch room, which is long overdue.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so difficult to get merch at Dinamo with that little cabinet that we got. So hopefully we can get some, that all set up correctly with some hangers. You can come in and try, a polo or a hoodie. Get the right size. It just make it a lot easier. Yeah, so I cannot wait for that. So Paul, make sure you get that done by Saturday.
Paul Burklicic is a legend. He's so heavily involved with the club, and it's so many other people as well. But yeah, look, a merchandise stall, merchandise shop, however you want to call it, that's going to be a fan shop. I guess that's the best way to describe it these days. That having one of those is going to be absolutely fantastic. We cannot.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's a good point. What do we call it? So if there's viewers out there, and you want to name the membership shop, please put a comment in there, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, John. Thank you so much for that. Let's turn our attention now to the 50th anniversary of the Gala Ball. You talked about it this year. It's going to be a big year. But look, there's a lot. We spoke to Stella Spolar and Susie Illich last week's show, and they kind of mentioned a few things and couldn't mention everything because it's still work in progress. But as far as you're concerned and your involvement, let's work on the Dinamo Zagreb connection. There's some tangible connections, and one of those was last week we saw, and it was mentioned on the live stream, Dinamo against Altona Magic, the captain's armband directly from Dinamo Zagreb, and that was personally given to you when you went to Croatia last year. Tell us a little bit behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, so as you all know, Ivan Novosel from the Ep6 boys he's been a key person with regards to their relationship with Dinamo Zagreb, and that all happened back in 2022, I think, when we had a presentation night.
Yeah.
When they performed at the Sunshine Centre. So that's where it all started from. And then I was lucky enough to be in Zagreb in August last year, and was lucky enough to visit Dinamo, obviously, firstly, which is a great honour, and to hand over our Guernsey. So we did an exchange in Guernseys, which is fantastic, and I'll get to a Petkovic signed Guernsey that we're going to auction at our gala.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was lucky enough to get the captain's armband given to us as a gift by Dinamo Zagreb, which you saw I handed to Mr. Grigic himself and that leadership group. So great honour. I'd love to wear it and play for Dinamo. So that was a special moment, yeah. And I hope that the leadership team, Grigic, Chulina, they all value that and give it all they got this season.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Now, you talked about the Bruno Petkovic signed Guernsey.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so again, lucky enough to get last year's Dinamo Zagreb signed Petkovic top. So we'll frame that and hopefully someone, or lucky bidder, can get that during our 50th gala.
Yeah, no, looking forward to that. That should be a really good night. There's the date. Save that date, Saturday, the 12th of July, 2025, when our great club will be celebrating 50 years. We're very, very close to nailing a venue. And it is going to be a fantastic night, without a doubt. Now, before that, obviously, or leading up to that night, Dinamo Zagreb coaches are going to be coming out here to Australia during that time. We believe it's the school holidays, and one of the highlights of that is going to be a clinic for the Dinamo juniors, boys and girls and kids of all ages. Tell us more about that. Obviously, it's still in its embryonic phase because we don't know exactly who will be coming out, but tell us in principle what we can expect.
Oh, it's going to be a huge week. So firstly, Dinamo Zagreb, I actually got some names just yesterday. So
well, there you go. Hot off the press.
Hot off the press, yeah. So Ivan Novosel is obviously coming to join us. We've got Ivan Keleva. He's the goalkeeper coach.
Ex-Melbourne Victory keeper, yes.
That's right. So I've got his details. I've got 4 other coaches. I'm yet to work. I was just about to Google what kind of coaches they are, but Paolo Pereša, Boban Deric, Hrvoje Jukic, and Bruno Franic are the 5 that will be attending our obviously our camp. But prior to that, it's going to be awesome. So we've got the Melbourne Knights on the 6th or 7th on the 6th, actually, which is a Sunday. So we've got the Melbourne Knights at home, which we hope will be a massive day. The following week, we've got our camp, which we're going to nail, and then the gala on the 12th. So and Dinamo Zagreb are going to be here for those 3 events, which will be massive.
Fantastic. Well, we can expect that's going to be a huge week, a huge celebratory week of partying and hopefully some good results as well. And I believe all those coaches stem from the Dinamo Zagreb Youth Academy, the famous academy. So all fully professional coaches. They do it for a living. They're professional in every sense of the word. And they certainly know how to churn out young champions, that's for sure. So that's something that's going to be really exciting, and we look forward to that. Now, mate, in the meantime, you will be travelling to Croatia in the next few months just to finalise a few more details and possibly organise a few other things as well. So tell us a little bit more about that planned trip.
Yeah, so it's March 25th. I'm going down there with my wife. It's actually our 25th anniversary as well. So
there you go.
whilst we're talking about family and stuff, being in a committee and being at a club, being a volunteer at any club, we forget to thank our partners and our family for what they do.
So true.
So shout out to my wife. Happy anniversary. It's not yet, but obviously, mean a lot to me, and so do the kids. So I've missed 2 out of 3 games for my daughter. I get a bit emotional about this, but sometimes with work and soccer and managing a club such as Dinamo, we're a huge club. It can take you away from your family.
Mate, you've hit the nail on the head. It's sometimes people forget, and they're easier to criticise. Oh, this isn't being done, or that's not being done correctly. But they forget the sacrifices people, volunteers behind the scenes, do. Like meetings, simple meetings during the week, and it's not just on the weekends turning up bright and early, opening up the car park or the clubhouse or whatever the case may be. But during the week, you're attending meetings after having spent probably more time on club things during the day than on your own work. That is, if you're self-employed or if you're a manager where you're able to do that. But a lot of people don't see that. And then on top of that, the sacrifices where you don't spend time with your own family because you're devoting yourself to the club. That's a very, very big thing. So, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right, John. We sometimes really need to acknowledge the sacrifices that our own family has to undertake.
100%. So shout out to all the volunteers, or anyone that's in a committee at a club. You spend a lot of time at a club, but we do it because we love it, and I love it. So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Now, speaking of this weekend coming up, big match against Heidelberg, our first home game of the season, and it's at Tomset Stadium, formerly known as Knights Stadium. Thank you to everyone at Melbourne Knights and Melbourne, Croatia for accommodating it. Mate, tell us, first of all, how did it come about? How did we manage to get our home game there at Knights Stadium or Tomset Stadium? It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. And just we'll talk about some of the logistics involved as well for match day.
Yeah, so big shout out to obviously Ilya, our president, and Shime Pincic from the Knights. Those 2 gentlemen worked out how we're going to do it. Unfortunately, we haven't got a pitch at Dinamo, so pitch 3 is now being oversewn, and pitch 1, as you saw, won't be ready until April. So we needed a venue, and it was either to reverse it against Heidelberg or find another venue. So a big shout out to Shima and team for allowing us to play at the Knights Stadium, which would be great. So we're hoping to get as many people as we can. So let's get out, and whether you're a Dinamo supporter, a Knights supporter, North Geelong, Dandy, Strathmore, come and support us. Obviously we need all the support we can get. So be there. Yeah.
It's going to be a 5 o'clock kickoff Sunday evening, perfect time. Everyone's game has finished by that stage, and they're able to now really come down to Knights Stadium. I guess it's like the good old days of a Sunday afternoon at Knights Stadium back in the days when it was the NSL. So it's something similar to that. And Heidelberg, who also used to play in the NSL, it's almost similar to that. Now, match day logistics. There is some construction work, obviously, still going on at Knights, and it'll be interesting to see how that's all coming along. If for no other reason you want to go, come along and see that. But is there anything specifically that we need to know, or Dinamo members need to know?
Dinamo members, we're going to have your names at the gate. The main gate is the only entrance that we're using because the fences are now been removed from pitch 1 at Tomset. So members, if you haven't got your membership cards as yet, you can collect them on Saturday at the club, whilst the under 19s and 23s are playing at Dinamo on pitch 2. So you're most welcome because they're ready. But if not, your name is going to be at the gate. And thank you again to the Bookfighter boys who are going to be at the gate. So entry will be at that main gate. Members obviously are free. players and coaches, behind the stadium. Bar and kitchen, as you know, will be open as per usual. So, and our members can go into the Knights members section. It should be a great day.
It should be, and as you mentioned, the under-19s and the under-23s, they'll be playing on Saturday afternoon. Do you have the times there, by the way?
Yeah, Saturday 4:00 is the under-19s.
Yep.
And it's a kickoff at 7 for the under-23s.
Excellent. So there we go. Yep. So we've got all that for this weekend coming. John, it's going to be a very, very busy next few months leading up to the Gala Day. Thank you so much for joining us on Dinamo TV. Really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. And let's get behind Dinamo, and support our boys. Loss on Saturday night, but I actually had a look at Altona, and we've only won 2 away games out of 10. So sometimes some venues are hard, are difficult to play, but hopefully we get the 3 points on Sunday.
Yeah, and that wind was absolutely atrocious. We've had 2 gale force windy days for match day. Hopefully Sunday things will be a lot more calmer. John, catch you at Knights Stadium or Tomset Stadium on Sunday, and thanks for everything you do behind the scenes.
And thank you again, Taunchi. You're doing an awesome job, mate. We really appreciate what you do for our club and Dinamo TV. So thank you, mate.
Good on you, thank you. John Bilos, the Vice President of St Albans Dinamo Football Club. Folks, we're going to be back after this very, very short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome to Dinamo TV, to one of the members of the leadership group this year. He's the Vice President and a man whose family is basically a dynasty here at Churchill Reserve, JOSEPH Colina. Joseph, welcome to Dinamo TV. How are you?
Good, yourself. Just thank you for being here, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. Mate, congratulations on the appointment as Vice Captain. And it's obviously a big honour for you. How do you feel about it?
It is. It's a big step for me, especially still quite young, getting old, almost there. But
you old? What are you talking about?
slowly. Nah, but I'm in good hands. Yeah, Michael Vidigic, obviously, with the captaincy and just under him. So big shoes to fill in the upcoming years. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
awesome. And obviously this year there's a core group there. Of guys who are also in the leadership group as well. So there's a lot of responsibility going forward, but let's talk about you and your involvement with the club. As I said, the Colina family is pretty much a bit of a dynasty here at Churchill Reserve. But your own, I guess, start at Dinamo. You said you started with the Mali Plavi. Take us all the way back if you remember those days.
Oh, well, where do we start? Mali Plavi started there in maybe the age of 4 or 5. Played actually alongside my sister, who's now the women's captain. And ever since then, I've been playing since around maybe under 12s. Then I left.
Who followed who in whose footsteps? You followed Jana's or Jana followed yours?
Everyone tries to tell me I followed in hers, but I think she followed in mine. But each to their own.
Yeah.
And then had a bit of a stint for a couple of years at Pascoe Vale, and then to the Knights, where I broke into the senior team there. And then when Ryan McGuffey got appointed head coach at St Albans, he called me over and gave me an opportunity back at my boyhood club.
Yeah. So let's talk about that going to Pascoe Vale. How old were you, and was it seniors or the reserves that you?
Under 15s.
Under 15s, yeah.
15s,
what was it like? You'd been at Dinamo all ever since you started kicking a football, and then you kind of went. After about 8-9 years of playing here, you went to another club. What was it? What was it? Was it exciting, something different, or was it a bit sort of terrifying, out of the comfort zone?
It is. It's definitely out of the comfort zone, especially being at one place, especially the team that I had. I played with for so long, since Mali Plavi all the way to under 12s, and it was a big change for me. It was quite a big shock, but it was good. It was a step in the right direction. I think I was competing when I was at Pascoe Vale for winning the league and playing all states and this and that, and no, it was good. It was a good atmosphere, and it was just more of a professional culture, so to say. But yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, and then from there you came back to Dinamo, or you went to the Knights?
So from then I played under 16s Melbourne Knights. From then I played reserves Melbourne Knights, and then broke into the senior team under Steve Berbich, and I think I was there for maybe 2 years, and then Ryan got appointed here, and then brought me over.
Yeah, let's talk about the Knights days. Look, for every Croatian kid in Victoria, it's always a dream, whether it was during the Mark Viduka era in the 90s, or whether it's now in the 2020s. It's always been that dream. What was it like when you first of all found out you were going to the Knights, and then after a few years actually breaking into the senior team?
It was actually funny because growing up, being a Dinamo player, you're kind of a traitor going to the Melbourne Knights. So,
Is that right? Yeah.
You got copped a few bad looks from a couple of people, but I knew it was something I had to do for myself, to benefit myself, and yeah.
We talk about following the footsteps. How many famous people at Dinamo have made the move over to the Knights and come back, where do you start? But you've obviously followed a long line of people who did that. How did you find the Knights, the setup at the Knights, compared to, say, Pascoe Vale, compared to what you knew at Dinamo?
Well, you couldn't really compare it to the Knights because I was playing in a senior environment. It was just something completely different. I've never seen anything.
How old were you then?
I reckon I was just turned 17.
Yeah. Was it a little bit daunting? Were you
correct,
overawed by the whole history, by the atmosphere, it is Melbourne, Croatia. Wow.
Yeah, correct. And especially being so young, and so many older boys and men, and going for tackles, and they're crunching you, yeah. So it was good at the Knights, but there was heaps of Croatian boys that I knew, older boys, so they look after me there.
Were they welcoming, or were they kind of really trying to toughen you up?
Yeah, well, toughen me up as well, but in a good way, so to say. Not too much, but something that I needed for that next step in my career. And
then you said Ryan McGuffey then assumed the reins here at Dinamo. And what happened then? Who made the approach? Did Ryan make the approach towards you, or was it through your dad? Or how did you end up back at Dinamo?
So when I was growing up, well, my dad was actually the president of St Albans, and Ryan was playing for the seniors here. And when he finished playing seniors, he was the technical director for a couple of years while I was still at St Albans, and he trained me a few times and whatever. And he always followed my progression growing up, Ryan. He always gave me pointers here and there on how to be better. And as soon as he got the opportunity to build his own team, then he approached me to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that was a couple of years back, wasn't it? And how'd you find the return back to Churchill Reserve after all those years?
Yeah, it's like coming back home.
Yeah.
When you've been away for so long, you miss home.
Yeah.
Your own bed.
Did you find it as hard as you expected it, or did you find it actually easier than the transition to come back to Dinamo? How did you find it, like, initially?
It wasn't too difficult, to be honest. It was quite easy. It's still the Croatian community, and being Croatian, everyone's welcoming. So no matter where you go, it's good, and with the Croatian people. But it was.
Now, it was a big year last year, obviously. Ryan started coach, but then he departed sort of towards the end there. Then Cameron Watson came on board, and gosh, it was one of the most up and down years, wasn't it, as far as the senior team was concerned, and you were kind of right in the midst of it. How was it like, at those, moments when we thought that we were going to go down?
Honestly, it was a very tough times, but it was pretty exciting going through it, and just being up and about every week.
Tell us, what do you mean exciting? I mean, we're in relegation zone.
Yeah, well, obviously in a good way exciting. It was just the thrill of, like, you've got to leave everything out there every week to get these 3 points, and how much a point actually means, and it could save the club, from relegation. And it was just playing with such meaning, which I think us Croatian boys in the team brought with the rest of the players, and then we kind of came like unified and played as one, and that's how I reckon we started rolling over results, and the boys got on a good run.
After the season, obviously the thrill of survival, staying in the competition. You had the Croatian soccer tournament here. What an event that was! How incredible it was on and off the field. But did you feel the pressure? You know, hometown boys. You're playing in front of your own club supporters, members. Was it a bit of pressure, or was it just a chance to just really celebrate the year that was?
I actually didn't get the chance to play in the Croatian tournament this year. I done my knee a few weeks out before the season ended, so actually, unfortunately, had to sit out for this one.
Yeah.
But even watching from the sideline, it was great to watch the boys and just get around it. It was really good.
Yeah. This year, obviously, 50th anniversary. So from one big party to another. But off the field, the club just really seems to be doing really well. All the infrastructure improvements around the ground. As we speak, actually, speaking of infrastructure improvements, pitch number 1 is getting developed. Must be really exciting as a Dinamo boy through and through, to be a part of, obviously, the senior team, but also to witness all of these unbelievably positive changes.
Yeah, it's good. I know we've got a very good committee at the club, so that's no doubt there. And the pitch-wise, the boys are very looking forward to the round. I think they say round 9 when it should be ready.
Mm-hmm.
To finally get some good turf for Dinamo, which will be good, and just play quality soccer and hopefully go from there.
Now, what about you, mate? Obviously, vice chairman, vice captain this year. That's a big thrill and that's a huge achievement. But what other achievements, like personal goals, have you set yourself for season 2025? Which, by the way, what a league it's going to be this year. Preston, Melbourne Victory in it, plus all the other clubs have, I think, probably improved. And then obviously with the National Second Division, mate, a lot at stake, isn't it, this year?
Correct. You even look at the scores from last weekend's game. It's 1 goal between every game, and it's going to be very tough this year. There won't be no side that's an easy rollover. Yeah, it's every week we're gonna have to fight hard. And goals wise, I think setting myself goals is important just for myself and progressing like as a footballer. But I think most importantly, just our team goals and where we want to be as a team is what we focus on mainly.
Yeah.
And just, taking 1 week at a time and going from there.
Yeah. Joseph, how old are you now?
21.
21. So let's say 5 years' time, fast forward, you're 26. Where would you like to see yourself? Would you like to see yourself still at Dinamo, or would you like to see yourself maybe in the A-League or overseas possibly?
Well, that's the dream, to go as far as I possibly can. Yeah. But if it doesn't, be more than happy to be at a club like this.
Yeah. What about the other Dinamo Zagreb?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Dinamo man or a Hajduk man?
Dinamo
man. So you must be pretty excited with the off-the-field connections that are happening slowly between Dinamo Zagreb and St Albans Dinamo. That probably potentially opens up a little bit of a doorway into Croatia, doesn't it?
Yeah, correct. It's good. Even just giving, not even myself, but the younger kids the opportunity.
Yeah.
That you can't have if you're not overseas, so it's good.
At the age of 21, he considers himself old and talks about the younger kids. Mate, but that's, I guess, testament to the experience that you've already accumulated that has led to you to be appointed vice captain. And on that note, mate, wish you all the very best for season 2025. You and to the team, of course. But once again, congratulations on the appointment.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Good on you. All right, folks, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and when we return, we'll continue with DinamoTV. Don't go away. And that, folks, brings us to the end of yet another episode of DinamoTV. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Make sure you get yourself down to Tom Set Stadium, i.e. Knight Stadium, this Sunday, 5 p.m. for the big kickoff, and also Saturday at Churchill Reserve if you want your football fix. The under-19s at 4 p.m. and then the under-23s at 7 p.m. And also on Sunday during the morning and during the afternoon at Churchill Reserve, the JB NPL boys are all in action as well. Folks, have a lovely, lovely night, and thank you for joining us here on Dinamo TV. Good night.